Boone, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's good to be back in the greatest country there is.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
not
I know
let's
I
not
know you
hold any
wanted
bars
to
about
maybe make an apology to the people, our listeners, and
it.
maybe the good people of America for kind of doing something a little bit despicable.
Yes. Yes, I went vegan, everyone. Um no, I'm just kidding. Not nearly that bad. Yeah, so my girlfriend will never listen to this show, so it doesn't really matter that much. Her college roommate, they did it's pretty cool actually what they did. I'm not going to support the weekend they chose, but they decided to get her and her now husband got married just for free in Central Park, real small family ceremony. And then they took all the wedding fund money they would have gotten or whatever, and they rented out this massive fucking villa, like massive in Sitges, or it's somewhere south of Barcelona. I can't really say the name. And then they invited pretty much the wedding party and plus ones to come out and just hang out in Spain for 4th of July weekend. So you can do the math. I was not in America for 4th of July weekend. I am a dutiful tax-paying American. There was some words that were exchanged between my girlfriend and I. I lost all of the words, which, going in, it's one of those battles that you kind of just have to have for your own sanity. But it's futile. It's like the
You
challenge.
can't roll over. You can't roll over.
Yeah. It's like the challenge
slide.
flag. It's the challenge flag you throw in an NFL game when you don't like the call, but it's the right call. You just you got to try something. Maybe they'll look at it wrong. Who knows? But so we were in Spain for the 4th of July. It was weird. I'll say that. So that day we did do a beer Olympics tournament, and I did make the whole party stop for the national anthem to kick off the beer games. But then it starts to get dark and there's no fireworks. It was definitely a weird thing. So yes, I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize. Not only was that the reason we didn't have a show last weekend, but I am a recovering communist, and I apologize for the actions, and I hope I didn't hurt anybody in the process. It won't happen again. I'm 29 for 30 in 4th of July's in these great United States. So, but you're right. The people needed an apology, and I'm man enough to admit when I've done something wrong.
So, and we'd like to hold you to that. As me and the other listeners, I'd like a gentleman's bet, and I want to be held to it as well.
Okay.
In future, between me and you, if either of us, no excuses. There's no excuses apart from a funeral. I will allow a funeral, which even still iffy. Either of us are out of the country for the 4th of July. We owe the other person $250.
Yeah. Deal. Okay. Deal.
All right. And me, as being a red-blooded American, I was smoking cigarettes on the water, drinking beer, drinking whiskey, and I fired off fireworks on the 4th of July in Charleston, South Carolina. So I handled it. But let me open up to you, Boone. Tell us a little bit about your Spanish vacation, because apart from the timing, I will say it looked absolutely incredible.
Yeah, man. Barcelona. Well, so the wedding was in Sitges, right? But Barcelona was kind of the big destination. We left on the 25th of June, and we kind of had the 26th to like the 7th in Spain. I will say the way the holidays fell this year, being able to be out for that long and not have to take the 3rd or the 4th off, which were both like work weekdays, that was pretty sweet. Again, I'm not excusing the timing. Yeah, not excusing the timing, but to basically take a week and a half off and only take 4 PTO days was pretty nice. So the timing from that perspective worked out, but we got in Thursday the 28th, I guess. And we flew immediately from Barcelona to Menorca, which I know people are gonna be like, it's pronounced Mallorca. No, Menorca's next to Mallorca. Much chiller place, a lot cooler. Maybe I'll post some of the pictures on the Twitter so you can see just what our view looked like. We rent a car, which at first I was like maybe a little worried about what that was going to be like, but super easy. The island we were at, we landed on the southern part and our Airbnb was on the northern part. It's a 45-minute drive across the island. Like we're talking small. And I'm expecting to be on the water the whole way. Not the case. It's like deserty, arid kind of, and we're driving through the dead middle of the island. But finally, we're exhausted. We've been traveling for however many hours, and we come around this little corner, and it's just this crazy cove with the bluest water you've ever seen. Our Airbnb was up this little, like, mountain's a strong word, but the area kind of looked like Mykonos, if you know what that looks like down in Greece, where it's like the whitewashed houses built into a cliff with the blue roofs, like the bluest water you've ever seen below. Same exact vibe, just not blue roofs. So white houses built into a cliff. Our house was literally built into like a cave, basically. So there was like rock features in our bathroom where like they basically just didn't build a wall because there's a rock there. But a real sick patio, some lawn chairs and some lounge chairs out there. So you just go out, hang out, have a beer, open a bottle of wine, whatever you want to do, and just look at the water. Spent the next 4 days there. I made a deal with myself that I was going to not eat seafood, or I was going to only eat seafood while I was on the island. So I went 5 straight days of just seafood. Incredible. One day we took a boat out, went snorkeling, and I saw some of the fish I was going to have later that night, which was pretty sweet. Had ceviche a bunch of times. Found this sushi place actually, which like Spanish sushi, what does that mean? But the fish is right there. So like if you just wrap up fresh fish and rice, it can't be that bad, right? And even if the rice is bad, I'll just eat the fish. We had some sashimi, some nigiris, all good stuff. Probably not surprising. The beer in Spain in general, not great. They had one good beer called Estrella Damm. That was solid, but I pretty much just kind of drink wine. They love gin and tonics over there, and they do this wild thing when you order a gin and tonic. They'll ask you how strong. So naturally you say, fuerte, which is strong in Spanish, and they just come to your table with a glass and a whole bottle, like a whole 5th bottle of whatever gin you chose, and they just go, it's like black pepper on a Caesar salad. They just start pouring, go, tell me when. And I'm like,
that's dangerous game, dude.
Is this a joke?
Especially after the first couple.
I was like, is this a joke? Because I'm never going to tell you when. Because the drink I've already paid for the drink. So you're just going to give me this whole bottle of Tanqueray for $13.50 or whatever. They do eventually, I tested it, and they do cut you off after like 3 shots in your drink.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to test limits.
Yeah. Look, if I leave that place and they think of me like, yeah, that American was an alcoholic, versus I leave that place and wonder how much could I have gotten for free, like I'll take that sacrifice.
Let me stop you there too. When I'm a tourist in a foreign country, and I know this might be a little bit disrespectful, but I want to be the douchebag American that got too drunk at the bar. Like I'm not. If I'm on vacation with people and it's a party event,
yeah,
I'm okay with that narrative being how these idiot Americans came. That's kind of what I'm going there for. Like, listen, if I'm there with my girl, okay, maybe we could tone down a little bit, but like at a certain point, like, and that brings me to a great point. I was somewhere, or maybe I was watching a TikTok, and someone's like, listen, I'm all for if someone doesn't want to have a couple of drinks, you don't want to drink, you're sober. That's you. But like, don't ever give me this bullshit about 2 drinks is enough for me, or 3 drinks, whatever that number is. Like, that's where I'm cutting myself off. Dude, don't have a number. Like, drink until you don't want to have a good time. You want to stop. Like, limiting yourself to drinks is like, I don't want to play that game. Now, tell me a little bit once you get to Barcelona here. Okay, and I've been to Barcelona previously, a little bit different circumstances. My buddies on, spring break, they were studying abroad. So, we're 20. But how was Barcelona?
Yeah. Barcelona was cool, man. We got there Tuesday, and we were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Barcelona is one of those places that if you have a limited amount of time, you're walking, you're hoofing it like the whole time. So the first day we go, what did we do? So we went to the Boqueria. We went to some tapas places. We went down to like the Castle de Barcelona or something like that. We just walked around and did all like Gothic Quarter, very cool stuff. We walked, I think, like 9 miles that day. Just walking around, having a good time, experiencing a lot of meats, a lot of cheeses, but just exhausted kind of from traveling because we wanted to spend as much as we could in Barcelona. So we got off the plane, we sent it. Good dinners that night and just, all around fun vibes. We had this apartment it was like an apartment / condo that was right in the middle of everything, like dead center. So you could get to whatever you needed to within like a 20-minute walk, which was super nice. My girlfriend studied abroad there back in college. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we did a lot of the stuff that she hadn't seen in a while. So we went to some of her restaurants, walked down to the beach, did all that stuff. So it was a good time. And then the Wednesday, we were going to see the Sagrada Familia and all that, the other touristy stuff. I don't know if I've told you this. I was trying to test how much of this pickpocketing culture that they have over there. So I found like a index card in my backpack and a blue highlighter, and I just like colored this index card kind of blue so it looked like a euro. And then inside I wrote "fuck you" with a frowny face, and I just folded it up and put it in my back pocket. That thing was gone within 10 minutes of leaving the house, out of my back pocket. 10 minutes. I mean,
I would have winky face,
I made it,
but I do respect it.
I made it not hard to steal. Like I was baiting for sure. And I'd like to see the face of the guy who or girl who got it. And it was just like, I'd like to think that he's shaking his fist at me still.
Give me one of these.
Yeah. But I swear to God, so that's like 5-10 minutes into the walk. Not but another 10 minutes into our walk, we're passing this like bus that's dropping people off. And these 4 like early 40s, maybe American women for sure. Cause I could understand the accents, the English. I mean, you can tell, especially in Europe, you can tell who's American. Obviously, it's not a hard concept, especially when they're talking. And she gets out. She's clearly the leader of this group, and she reaches in her purse to get her phone for the next, GPSing of where they're going. And I will never forget as long as I live. Her just wait, where the fuck's my phone? Where's my phone? And like emptying the contents of her purse in an absolute panic as the bus leaves, and just like looking at Kristen, and she goes, "Yeah, that girl's phone is gone." Like definitely on the bus, phone or purse unzipped. Like they'll get you for sure. But to I guess kind of put a bow in Barcelona, it's such a cool place. The architecture, the culture, the food culture, the wine is good. The people are friendly. I mean, aside from the people trying to rob you, everyone was super nice. I am a competent Spanish speaker. So I was able to like communicate well enough to where I think that they didn't, while they might have had the like, oh, this is an American tourist vibe. Like I made the effort to speak their language and try to be polite. So I do think that we gave off good energy and then people were good to us back. But we didn't really do any kind of like downtown kind of things. I mean, dude, I'm 30. I just didn't want to kind of deal with it. And at that point in the trip, sleep was like an all-time high. Now, we did get out and get after it at the end of the trip, but just not in Barcelona. Barcelona was really about food, drinks during the day, and like taking it all in. So, but very cool city. I would absolutely go back to Barcelona. And then I guess we ended the trip at the villa, obviously in Sitges, however you say it. Cool as fuck, dude. I've never seen a place like this. Like 40 rooms. I think there was 25 people total, and everyone had their own room. Like, well, every one/couple had their own room that had a bathroom in it, closets, like dressers. There's a pool, 2 hot tubs. There's 2 kitchens. A very cool grill. I got to grill up the last night, do some burgers and dogs, which, brought me back as I was going home. But there were still rooms available. And I mean, this place was cool. We did go out a couple times at that trip. And then, just being with more people, a lot of the people that we were with got there and the weekend was their first stop. So they're ready to go. Whereas like we originally were pretty tired. I was able to feed off the environment a little bit. We found our way to a bar one night and looked down at my watch and I was like, fuck, it is 4:30 in the morning. And I think I sent you a Snapchat the next day. You
looked rough.
I was not in good shape.
Kind of revived me a little bit. I'm like, fucking Spaniard. I got to do it better.
I was not in good shape. But all in all, man, what a trip. What a good time. I would definitely go back. Everything was awesome. And not crazy expensive. I mean, we did expensive things and I won't be feeling this trip for that long from a financial standpoint.
Yeah. Dude, that's great to hear. I love Barcelona and I think I want to get back. One question.
Yeah.
Did you guys do we did one dinner that night. No really dinner we did. And, don't get me wrong, it was a pretty boozy dinner. Did you guys do like a family style paella any nights?
We did. So it was interesting because when we were with the big group, they kind of had meals kind of pre-planned for us. They had this like Israeli company come in and do 9-course family style dinner. It was the best food I think I've ever had in my life. But Kristen and I did a shellfish paella one night.
Nice.
So we had some crawfish, lobster, crab, shrimp, mussels, clams. I mean, it was a lot of food. But that was the day we'd spent like 6.5 hours on this boat tour. So I was starving. We hadn't really eaten that day, had some drinks. So we did spank a Spanish paella. It was good. We also had this lobster stew that's like pretty famous in the island that we were at. I was kind of expecting like a lobster bisque kind of deal. It was not. It was like a whole ass lobster cooked in a stew, which is like cool in one standpoint, but it's tough to eat at a nice restaurant when you have nice clothes on and you're cracking lobster that's been basting in stew. So like there's soup going everywhere. It's our first night in Spain, and we're the sloppy Americans just throwing soup and shells around. It was good. It was not the easiest thing to eat.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm glad you had a great trip. Good. Glad you're back. Glad we got the show going.
Yeah. Tell me about Charleston or whatever is safe to say on the show.
Well, let me start. I actually, last time we did the show, I was at a sales meeting in Pennsylvania and got to hang out with one of my best friends at Fallen Weekend in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
This is always a nervous meeting is when you meet your friend's girlfriend that's pretty serious you haven't met before.
Yeah.
That's a big test. And
the whole time you're just thinking like you should see the things I've seen your boyfriend do.
And when I could start saying jokes and telling stories and she's just laughing and he's up with when her boyfriend goes to bed at 4 a.m. and me and her up hanging out till 6 a.m. together, like it's like, all right, did she pass the test?
Yeah.
So just great overall meeting her. Had a phenomenal weekend in Philly. Beautiful weather. I will say I did get to, back to the cheesesteaks thing a couple weekends ago. You didn't get to go to Angelo's. I made it a point to go. I had a little bit of time before he got off of work. And I will say, Angelo's, if you're ever in Philadelphia, it's worth all the hype. It lives up to every expectation. It's not that bad of a wait, to be totally honest. You order quick, and then you can just go walk around and come back in 30 minutes to get your cheesesteak. And I don't think it's a hot take at this point. Cheese Whiz is the fucking out. It's out. Cheese Whiz is out.
What?
It's Cooper Sharp. Cooper Sharp on your cheesesteak is in. It's so much better. It's melty cheese. It's perfect. And I will take all the hate in the comments. And Boone, you want to give me the hate? The Cooper Sharp is the play. It's perfect. It melts over the cheese. It kind of comes like a goo, and it like they put slices, but it also kind of comes that like queso and that texture of the cheese whiz, the way they put it on there. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with a better bite of the cheese. The onions weren't like thin; they're little like almost cubed onions, and it was just so good. The roll was perfect. I'm not a huge fan of seafood rolls. I'm gonna be, but I walked away down a few $100. Did I get much sleep that weekend? Absolutely not. And then I came back, and I'm just gonna roll right into it. I flew home Sunday. I don't feel great. My flight gets delayed 3.5 hours. I'm sitting at the gate, so they're not telling us how long to get on this plane, so I can't hang out in the lounge. And I'm getting hung over in this seat. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna get sick. Have one of the hottest flight attendants I've ever had in my life on a plane. And I made the veteran choice. I feel like I'm about to throw up, so Jack and Coke. Let me see if I can get out of this. It worked. I come home, have to sleep. I get a few hours of sleep. Go to Salt Lake City, do a business trip, have a great time. Wednesday, let me preface the scene. I've already crushed my meetings for the week. Wednesday, I have a meeting in the morning, cancels. Best news I've gotten all week. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I got a whole day. My flight's at midnight. I have a red eye flying me from Salt Lake City to Charlotte to Charleston in the morning. I land at Charleston like 8:30. But so I head out. I'm like, I'm going to go get a drink. Actually, let me rephrase that. I decided that I was going to go see Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park Rebirth. And so I buy tickets to this little, it's a brewery / movie theater. I get tickets.
That's cool.
Cool. Yeah, cool spot. And next door is this just dive sports bar kind of place. I roll in. It's like probably 2 hours till the movie starts. So I'm like, I'm going to go walk in. I walk in. And you can just tell I walk in, this guy next to me, local drunk. His name was Bart. Shout out Bart.
That's a good local drunk name.
Yep. The guy next to me 2 minutes after I sit down, another guy local sits in next to me. And I'm looking over this menu. Great menu. And he's like, dude, you got to get the wings. It's Wing Wednesday. 12 wings for $8. I get the wings, and listen, I'm a pretty big wing guy. I'm not going to say top 5. They might crack top 5. Top 10 wings I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And I pound these down. I'm hanging out with Bart. Bart's buying me a couple shots. I'm drinking with Bart. Bart's put back 2 bottles of wine in the 2 hours I'm there. So I'm getting pretty lit too at this point. I'm like, fuck, I got this movie. I'm pretty drunk. I end up, leave the bar, eat my wings, feeling good. I go to the movie, watch the movie, and we're going to take a quick pause in my story here to talk about Jurassic Park here. I'm just going to get in front of this and tell everyone, if you're going to go see Jurassic Rebirth, save your money. I don't care if you're going for $1. Donate it to charity. It is the worst Jurassic Park movie I've seen to date. It was abysmal. It was awful. I was miserably disappointed.
Does any of that have to do with you being drunk, or do you think that opinion holds up? I think
me being drunk would have made it better.
Yeah. It
was just so unrealistic. The story was stupid, and the dinosaur parts weren't that cool.
Yeah.
Like the dinosaurs were too it just didn't work. Listen, I will say this, Scarlett Joe, absolute stunner in the movie though. Absolute stunner. That was
I have seen some of the clips.
So like Scarlett Joe, me being drunk, that was kind of a big up for me.
Okay.
Popcorn was average, but what can I expect from a brewery movie theater?
Yeah. Well, the breweries have good popcorn though. Like Bulldog here in Charlotte used to have bomb pop. Well, I guess I was always drunk though, so maybe.
To be fair, I was also in a strip mall movie theater, and this place is run down. Like we're talking.
Okay.
Like
where are you at again?
Salt Lake City.
Oh.
I will be going back to the bar though. The bar, huge saving grace, but the movie sucked. But I would like to transition that to tell me a little bit about Jurassic World. I know you saw it for the first time.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite parts of an international flight is the movies. Like it's a whole ritual. I get a couple drinks at the bar, at the lounge, and then I get on the theater. I found out recently, I think this was maybe 2 international flights ago, that you can star movies. Because I'm one of those guys. There's always movies that I immediately see, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna watch that, but I've got to know. I've got to see the whole list.
Did you have the TV in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm a big remote guy, so like I'll pull the remote out and I'll lay back in my seat and just kind of scroll.
Yeah.
But I'll star each movie. I go through my first run. I think I have 26 movies. It's an 8-hour flight. So I narrow it down. Long story short, I get my movies, get like 7 movies that I can kind of go between the flight there and the flight back. I pick Jurassic World at the very end. It's like the last hour 40 of the trip, coming back to JFK for our connection to Charlotte. And I'll say, man, I've always kind of put off the dinosaur flicks because it's never scratched the itch. I know you're a big Jurassic World or Jurassic Park guy. So I decided, why not just start this? And I found myself like pissed as we're landing. Again, this has been a horrible travel day. It's like our flight delayed 2 hours. And I'm like pissed when we land because I know we're about to get there. I come back. I think we did our little pre-call talk on Tuesday because I got back at midnight. And I found it on Peacock, which it's the only Jurassic Park not on Peacock. So I had to go to Tubi to watch the end of it. But I got the last like 40 minutes of the movie. I gotta say, man, I liked it better. I'm gonna watch the rest of the Jurassic Worlds except for Rebirth. But in all honesty, I'll probably watch Rebirth once it comes to Netflix. Or not Netflix, Peacock. I'm gonna go back. I've been trying to get Kristen to agree to watch the original Jurassic Park with me this week. She's not been as into it yet. We'll see. I might just watch it next weekend when she's out of town. But yeah, I'm locked in. It's
Jurassic World's real good.
It's a good movie, and Chris Pratt is cool. For those who haven't seen it, I won't spoil anything, but the lead antagonist is fucking sweet. And like when he's just pulling new shit out of the bag, fucking sweet. So I would definitely say watch it. I do need to go back and watch the original Jurassic Park, I think, to understand the ending a little bit better. If you know what I'm talking about, understand the ending of Jurassic World better. I think that's a callback to. I think there's a couple pieces that were callbacks to Jurassic Park that I missed that I need to go back and see.
It's like one of those movies where you can watch that one like standalone. I will say, like the original three, you want to watch those three in order.
Yeah,
but like then, like I'd say, they're almost like, you know, and we're getting into a top 5 later of our top 5 movie series, and we separated those two. We did separate those two. The original Jurassic Parks, those three you kind of need to see together in order. It makes more sense.
Yeah,
you kind of do Jurassic World on its own. But
I will say, to that point, when I finished Jurassic World, I was, because the whole 4-part Jurassic World series is out before I saw the first one.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised at the end of that movie, like, oh wait, there's more, because it doesn't leave you with cliffhangers, really.
Exactly.
It doesn't. It's one of those movies, and there's a lot of movie series that are ultimately guilty of this. It's a movie that was written to be one movie that got really good reviews, and they're like, let's cash in. And I don't ever hate people for making money. It's your choice if you go see a shitty movie that you don't like. It's not, you can't fault the guy who's like, yeah, I'll make $100 million to do more dinosaur shit. Sure. That's why Flow Ride has been so successful.
Yep. Yeah. No, great movie. Glad you finally watched. I'm excited to get your opinion on the first 3.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit older. You know, you got to deal with that a little bit.
Yeah, but there's still Spielberg's.
Yeah. But hey, I'll jump back in. So after I see that, I leave the movie theater. I go back to the bar. Guess who's still fucking sitting there? Bart. I got new bartenders. The bartendership changed. I'd already made friends with other bartenders. Like me and the bartender chirping Bart.
Yeah.
And so this new bartender thinks, who's this schmuck walking in? He's all high and mighty, much drunker. And then I'm like, oh no, I was here earlier. They're like, oh, so you know Bart? I'm like, yeah, no, me and Bart talked. Bart's nowhere to be found. They have to go looking for Bart. They're like, oh, he ditched his tab again. He just get high in his car. Smoke pot in the car. I'm like,
God, Bart's the man.
No, I should.
I think I lost.
I don't.
I think I lost you for a second.
Oh well, okay. So it's like, what? So basically,
I lost you and Bart smoking weed in his car.
Yeah. So the new bartender's like, I have to serve you food. You can't just drink after my first drink.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll just have one drink and leave. I have the one drink. Bartender's hot. I'm talking. I'm having a good time. So like, let me do another drink. Cheapest food item, whatever.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for probably another 2 or 3 hours. Walk back to my hotel, pick up my luggage, go to the airport. By this point, I'm kind of teetering. I'm like, you know, I'll chill. I got 5 hours before my flight. I'm just gonna go chill, sober up, watch some movies or something in the airport.
Yeah.
Like I still want to hang out. But you know, I walked past the airport bar. I'm like, I'll have one. Turned into a conversation with a guy. I get pretty drunk. I go back. I do chill for like 2 hours before the flight. Chill. I'm like sober up, get myself collected. I have a 11:59 flight. I land in Charlotte like 5 in the morning, and I'm upgrade to first class, so I know I'm gonna be drinking. But my plan is have a drink. I'm gonna go whiskey, dinner, wine, pass out.
Yeah.
I rock the whiskey, dinner, plan great. Do the wine, and I can't fall asleep. And like I am just sitting in this chair, like because I got excited. Like 4th of July is my favorite weekend of the year. I'm excited, and the excitement's taken over.
Yeah.
So I start drinking. I'll be totally honest with you. I blacked out completely. I landed in the Charlotte airport. I don't know how I got onto the plane from Charlotte to Charleston. I do have $100 tab at a bar in Charlotte because they weren't serving alcohol yet at the lounge. So it was 7:30 in the morning. So don't know what happened at that bar. I am hammered drunk. My buddy comes, picks me up from the airport, towing his boat at the airport. I walk out. I got my bandana on. I got my American flag bandana. I'm like, let's go have a day. Hop on his boat, stop at his house. I get, changed real quick, drop off my stuff. We go out, spend, 5-6 hours in the water all day. Have a great day. come back to this beautiful water restaurant. I meet a lovely girl that we're talking for a while, having a great conversation. I don't completely remember exactly what happens after this, so end up getting her number. But then I go out to dinner, and the next day I'm like, oh, did we actually make it to dinner? Completely forget the rest of Thursday night. I sleep till 11 a.m. on 4th of July. I get a call. Hey, Evan, wake up. I'm coming to get you after the hot dog eating contest. So I wake up immediately, just in the boxers, turn his TV on. I watch, the hot dog eating contest, as any true American does. Get picked up. We go back to this restaurant. And we literally just sat at 4th of July. He deserves to celebrate too. And we just had one of the best 4th of Julys, sat there for probably 12 to 13 hours, just sitting there, walking up and down the docks, drinking. And then we said, hey, time to wrap up the day and go and buy some fireworks, light off fireworks, and then head back out to the bars after the fireworks. And that was kind of my 4th of July. And then, next 2 days in a nutshell, just a little bit more of the same. But it was one of those where I got the blackout in early, and I didn't want to have the blackout that way. It was PC, but I got it through, and then I enjoyed the 4th of July, remembered everything, have some great stories that when this podcast blows up, I'll be happy to bring them back up. But for the sake of my employment, I can't.
It's a good call. It's a good call.
So, listen, you guys get us blown up. I'll spill all the beans on those. No problem. And then it was just perfect. And I will say I had one of the most miserable Sunday hangovers I've ever had. And I had to go hang out with my buddy before I left. So it was a pull the trigger kind of day, and just rocked, had a nice dinner, and then flew back home. And I will tell you, I had to fight off the urge to change the flight from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday morning. I woke up, but I made it back to Dallas at 9 a.m., and that's where we are.
Dude, you lost like a whole week of the year. Like, you're going to have 51 weeks this year. And it sounds like that 51 plus 1, it sounds like that extra week was a legendary week, but there's a whole week this year that you just don't have in the memory banks right now, it sounds like.
Oops, sorry. Got disconnected there. Sorry, where did I lose you at?
I don't know. I just said that you have you're going to have 51 weeks this year because you lost a whole week. I mean, it sounds like a great week, but there's pieces that you'll just never get back.
Well, and here's the problem too. Like, it probably would have been easier, but what happens is when you have those 2 weeks planned and like you have one weekend back and the other, and I had literally 12 hours to get ready for the next weekend.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I had a work trip and like you're busy, and it's like, and I'm excited too. And I was excited, and I was drinking, not heavily like the nights I was in Salt Lake City, but I'm like, I'm just gonna steer into the skid. And
there's no feeling quite like the mental and emotional buildup to a debaucherous weekend with the boys. Mm-hmm. There's just don't get me wrong, I love a good trip. Like, I've been fortunate to go a lot of places abroad, and those trips are always awesome. Like, you're looking forward to them, but the antsy build up to like it's just going to be a dude's rock kind of weekend. There's nothing better. And then to just counterbalance that, the drive home or the flight home, there's nothing worse. Nothing.
You're sitting there like, dude, like I don't feel good. Like,
you've got swamp ass before you wake up. It's just like, it's tough.
The only thing I will say on the positivity of that is like, usually I'm a very not self-conscious, but I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure I smell good.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
On a plane, like if TSA pulled me aside, like, why are you sweating? Like, there's whiskey literally coming out of my pores. Like, like just accept it.
Yeah, I remember when I was back in high school and I'd come home hungover, my mom would just like the epitome of disappointed. She'd be like, "I smell beer coming out of your skin." I was like, "Oh, that's good."
It's a mom trait too.
Yeah.
But I will say this too: as you get older, it's so much worse because like it's not you feel bad. I am actually physically ill. Like, I'm physically ill.
It's also the thing, like, And I know you get more hungover, obviously, the older you get, but like going from college to early career where it's like I can really send it. And if I lose Monday, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not that important. Like if I miss class Monday, or if I just kind of send it and I'm pretending to work on Monday, like early in your career, whatever. But like if you have like shit to do like that whole week, or God forbid, which sounds like you're traveling, like immediately Monday morning, you're not just going to work, but you're putting a face on to go talk to people. That anxiety with the drinking is brutal.
Well, what's the anxiety of like, I didn't take Monday off work and I'm not supposed to be in Charleston. So like I had to get home, and it's like, I mean,
yeah.
I was like, in my flight, like, thank God it all showed up. But like,
yeah,
man. Well, I mean, I think that was a pretty good recap.
Yeah, man. Wait, I just got to go back to one thing. I understand. We got to go back to cheesesteaks. I understand where you're coming from. I'm a cheddar. I'm pro cheddar as well. So I get the bite is better. But to say Cheese Whiz is out, like such a blanket statement like that, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can see where you're coming from with the cheddar being a superior bite, but you can't just discount all that Cheese Whiz has done for the game.
Maybe I should refine my statement. I'm not saying Cheese Whiz is out, but there's a new goddamn sheriff in town.
Okay, I can understand that. I can understand.
Like, I think there's always gonna be that nostalgia piece of the Cheese Whiz. But
yeah, like Lee Corso is Cheese Whiz. Like, okay, you had your moment in the sun, and you can't forget what you've done for the game, but you're losing some of this, some of what you've got here.
Yeah, it's Darwinism.
It's Darwinism. I get it. While I'm thinking about Lee Corso, because some of y'all might know our old Twitter logo was Lee Corso quoting Donald Sterling. Probably not the most, the best look. We do have a new logo now. Go find us back on the page. Like, comment. If you hate it, I won't be offended because I asked Google AI to make it for me. So would love any feedback. Evan, I sent Evan some ideas, and he goes, use that one. The rest fucking suck. So and you can't hurt me if you don't like it. But yeah, go check it out. I think it's a pretty cool look.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I think this is now maybe a good segue of listen. We had some fun. Don't get me wrong, and good to be back. Yeah. I was hungover till midday yesterday.
The week off was good, but we're excited to be back in the chair, talking nonsense to the 3 or 4 of y'all that are still paying attention.
But let's talk some basketball. I mean, I think a lot's happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I
got to kick it off with GOAT conversation.
Okay.
Brad Stevens is the GOAT of maybe Red Auerbach. Want to look back, listen, maybe biased, but Brad Stevens, what he did with that fucking trade with the Blazers, it should be studied. It doesn't make any really correlation sense. I get it. Drew Holiday's the better defender, but overall, like player for player, it's a pretty even match. And I mean, granted, you have to.
Anthony Simons is like young and exciting. Drew Holiday is great, but you traded for Drew Holiday to increase your championship window. You won a championship.
And now you get a perfect replacement. Like maybe not perfect, but you get a slight defense withdrawal. Like I think,
But you also Drew Holiday is what, 3 years older since you made that trade, and then add another 2 years before Tatum's ready and y'all are competing for a championship again. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world. The Blazers, I just don't. Because they also they cut Ayton. They just have refused to do anything that makes sense.
However, what I will say is I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure if you've heard the rumors that the Celtics are looking to trade him again, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you got to put your faith in Brad Stevens at that point.
Yeah,
because if you
he
just said they're looking,
I'm gonna hand up. He's my guy. If he jumps off a bridge, I'm jumping off the goddamn bridge too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great move. They got picks back too, I think, or that might have gotten taken out, but just a great deal. The interesting thing that just got finished up today, this is not related to the Celtics, just moving to another round ball piece. The Thunder have continued their hiring spree or not hiring spree, they're re-signing spree, and got Jalen Williams to a new rookie max extension. They now have Chet, Shea, and Jalen Williams under contract, all for at least 4, I maybe believe 5 years, and they're taking up $882 million of cap space between the three of them.
Crazy.
882. I don't know how NBA like.
I don't understand the cap, and I'm never gonna.
There's the cap, there's the apron, the second apron, there's luxury tax. Like, I don't get it. I'm not a taxologist or a capologist even, but until they make a new deal, it's not my money. If I'm a Thunder fan, I'm through the fucking roof. You got a ring, you got your young core, 26, 25, and 23, I think. They're all signed for the next 4 to 5 years. Who cares? It's not your money. Why do you give a shit? I will be interested to see what this does to some of the other pieces, because like those 3 guys are incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. Cornerstones of any franchise. They could honestly be key pieces, cornerstone pieces on their own. But the players like Lou Dort, the players like Caruso, Ike Hart, some of those guys, like, where's the room for them? Do they have? I know they have 1 million draft picks. Do they have some young talent they can bring up? I know Cason Wallace had a great season, and he's a young guy, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll be interested to see what they do with the rest of their cap space as well. Brad Stevens is obviously a go-to GM, but Sam Presti, man, I mean, Sam Presti's had a
following in the lead.
He's had a vision, and he's just working his plan. And it's been fun to watch, and that's why those 2 teams were, the kind of the finals favorites going in to the playoffs before, obviously, all the injuries to all 3 guys that wear number 0 that all tore their Achilles and wear the same shoe. Something there.
Here's what I'm interested to see, and maybe get your thoughts on this too.
Yeah.
I feel like, let's say like 2000, around when LeBron made the decision.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a players run league at that point. I feel like we're transitioning a little bit more back.
I think that was when it became a players run league.
Back to the.
I think the LeBron decision is when it became a players run league.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But now I think we're getting back to it's actually a GM's run league, because I think the talent. Not that I think at that point there was so much, maybe not talent discrepancy, but there was a much bigger fluctuation now where there's so much more and more talent in this league, where it's becoming back to the GMs play a much bigger part in the league now, where you can't just have those big 3 players and go win a championship. You have to have a little bit more of the role players now. I'm not saying we're completely there yet. Like, the big time players are still incredibly and decisively important, but the right ones and the right pairings and the complementary players to play with them are super, super important, as opposed to back then. Like, let's be honest, with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron, you can't really throw anybody around them, and they're probably going to win.
Think about right before them too, with Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen.
Exactly. I mean, on that note, I will say Rajon Rondo, one of the most criminally underrated players for facilitating that team. And he was almost the perfect player for that team. Not a good scorer, and just one of the best passers and ball handlers of that kind of era.
If you hear him talk too, he has some of the highest basketball IQ.
Oh, incredibly smart player. And he just I think LeBron's actually said it. I mean, if I misquote here, sorry, but I think LeBron's literally said that Rajon Rondo, like, talking to Rajon's, like, especially when Rajon was on the Lakers with him, he's like, dude, just talking to him, it's like, dude, he's just another coach on the floor. Like, he's so smart. His, like, vision on the passing lanes is something that's really rare, and I think doesn't go appreciated. And I think we kind of overlooked it during his playing career for what he was doing because of who he was overshadowed by. Right.
So, okay, I've got some stats here looking at this, to your point, because I will say I agree with what you're coming from the superstar big 3 era, and I do think there's some numbers here. If I go all the way back to 2008, so that's right after the decision, right? You've got the Celtics. They win the finals, super team, big 3 era. You have the Lakers the next year. I won't call it a big 3, but you have to make the big trade for Pau Gasol. They win the 2009, 2010. That was a bummer for y'all with Big Perk getting injured. I think that was a different series. But then you have the anomaly with Dallas. But we're about to go on a quick little spurt here. Miami Heat, back-to-back 12-13, big three. You got the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. They're always an anomaly. The 2015 Golden State Warriors, homegrown. So you have your two there. But then these next couple, 2016 Cavs acquired LeBron back in free agency, traded for Kevin Love. They get it done. The next 2 years, 17-18, Golden State again. Obviously, they have that core still there, but they acquired Kevin Durant at like the scariest time of Kevin Durant. Then you have the Raptors have to build a super team by trading their all-time franchise leader for Kawhi Leonard, who at the time looked like a superstar. Or not like looked like a superstar, looked like a top 5, top 2 player in the league. 2020, Lakers AD trade. And after 2020, this is where this trend I think kind of stops, because you're right. The super team trade for the best players and put whatever around them, that started to fade out, and it became draft and build. You got Milwaukee 21, draft Chris Middleton, draft Giannis, obviously put some pieces around them. Golden State, they're back in it. No Kevin Durant. They've got their core that they drafted. The next year, Denver, they obviously had to make the trade for what's his name? Aaron Gordon. But they draft Jokic and they didn't have to trade for a big three. Boston Celtics, I mean, obviously the Drew trade was pivotal. Kristaps, I think, was kind of a non-starter for that finals, but you built around those the Jays. And then this past year is a perfect, microcosm of, we're not building super teams, we're drafting and developing incredible talent. Even the Pacers, who were in there, they didn't draft all those players, but they built a team of cast-offs around. They almost did the build to the draft, but with trades of players nobody really wanted, minus Halliburton, of course. People knew he was a talent, but like y'all gave us Aaron Nesmith for nothing, or what looked like a lot at the time.
Well, I loved him when we drafted him, and he just didn't pan out those first early years. And
yeah, I was furious when they traded Brogdon for him, and then look how wrong I was. But all that to say is, you're right. I do think that there's less of those like LeBrons of the world, where there's such a big gap between like LeBron and everyone else for a while. Like you have Jokic, you have Giannis, you have Shea, you have Tatum, but the 5 to like 12 is so much more competitive comparatively to I'll say 1 to 5 is still at a tier of their own, but then like 6 to 12 isn't like completely outside of their class, with the exception of Jokic.
Well, then even also the 12 to 25 or 12 to 30 even is so much better than it was. Like those role support players,
yeah,
and people accepting their roles. It's just a lot better than it was, or maybe even maybe not even that they're as good, but they're willing to accept the roles of being that understudy, being the guy that's not going to be your superstar every night. But, those Derek Whites of the world, where it's, shit, I need a big game. Maybe it's my night tonight,
Yeah. The true 3 and D guys, the true 3 and Ds, like I get off on locking down and chucking threes. Yeah, like, I don't need the ball. I actually don't want the ball ever. If you give it to me, I'm going to shoot it.
And also, I mean, maybe this is a really tough take, and maybe it's because I'm a Celtics fan, and I think you're a Pacers fan, so you appreciate it a little bit. And look at the Thunder too. It's guys that are willing to play. Like, listen, I'm still going to dive by the same. Defense in the NBA is abysmal. It's not ever going to be what it was in the 80s, 90s.
Until the playoffs.
But guys that are actually playing good defense have such more importance now than they did 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, it'll get lost it'll get lost in the history books, because the Pacers obviously didn't win the series. But the defense that Andrew Nembhard played throughout the finals on Jalen Brunson in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then on Shea for 7 games. I mean, people were like, Shea was headbutting him at points, like there. And then the
Naismith as well at moments.
Naismith on Brunson as well. Like he was, and then like I'll obviously say this as well, because we all watched it. But when the Pacers tried to go on their third quarter run with TJ McConnell, like obviously Halliburton's out, TJ McConnell scores like 9 straight points. The Thunder smartly subbed in Alex Caruso and were just like box and one, just lock him down, don't let him and he ended up having like 6 turnovers after that. Like
Absolutely.
the grinders, yeah, they make a huge difference. And I mean, the Thunder were kind of built on that. Like Lou Dort is not a good shooter. I don't care what anyone says. He's a huge pussy, but he's a great defender.
But it's also young guys trying to make a name for themselves too.
Yeah,
They actually start playing defense again.
Absolutely.
And hey, I want to get Miles' turn here, but I'm out of beer. I think we're rolling it, and I've been drinking, so I don't want to mess that mellow. I'm gonna grab one more beer. Back in 30 seconds.
Gotcha. That's why you bring 2. I was out of beer as well, so I had to grab a high noon. No free ads, but if you want to sponsor, go for it. Be a waste of your money, but I'd take it. This is just me riffing. Listen, I will say it while Evan is grabbing a beer. I will go out on a limb, and I'll say it. There's a lot of good basketball. There's a lot of good basketball players. There's a lot of players that can shoot it really, really well as well. I'm hoping I can get this up. I'm just going to show – see if I can show you all the most shocking picture I've seen today. See if I'll leave it up for Evan when he gets back. Cooper Flagg could have been such an all-time hateable Duke guy if he had this goatee when he was still playing at Duke. Evan, I've just been riffing, so I wanted to shock you with the most startling picture I saw today. This is your Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg decided to grow a goat.
We got to be careful calling him my Dallas Mavericks. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm an adopted fan. I go there and I root for the team and I respect them. I will never be a Dallas Mavericks fan.
So I have a similar view of the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously, I live in Charlotte. My view is I want them to continue to be terrible. I would go to the games to root for them to be bad because I like taking advantage of $10 tickets when I want to go to see a game.
Oh, you're talking about the Hornets. My bad.
Yeah. What did you think I was talking about?
Also, hey, shout out Community Beer, great local brewery in Dallas, Texas. Sponsor us, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, Cooper Flagg, I was just saying while you were gone, if he had grown this here goatee while he was still at Duke, people would have hated him. People would have hated him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so obviously free agency happens. I never saw this coming. I'm okay with it. I understand it. I get it. Miles Turner, Halliburton's injury changed a lot of things because he's out. The team officially announced he's out for all of next season. Their focus now is getting younger and investing in young talent because Halliburton is literally out until the 26-27 season. I think because of that, the Pacers are a well-run franchise. They always have been. Even when they're bad, they don't typically tank or chase, at least as long as I've been alive. Now, Turner, I think, is 29. He's the longest tenured Pacer on the team, or was the longest tenured Pacer on the team, 10 years. I don't care what anyone on Twitter says. I don't care the angry people that say, fuck him for taking the money. The Pacers only offered him $60 million over 3 years, so 20 per. The Bucks came in and offered him, I think, 107. It's a simple fucking math equation, guys. Like it might have been 20 for 4 years. Actually, yeah, it's 20 for 4 years, so 80. Huh?
I said I know the exact figure.
No, I think it was 20 mil a year. I think that was right, but I think it was for 4. So 80 million, or he goes to Milwaukee for 107 million. I mean, it's a simple math equation. He sees it too. The best player on the Bucks isn't out all next year. And Miles Turner's been like perpetually on the trade block his whole career. He was never respected that much by the overarching Pacers fans. You had the real ones out there that loved him. He's a goofy guy. He loves building Legos. All that to say, I was devastated. I was in Spain. I'd just gotten Wi-Fi, just looked at Twitter. I didn't even realize it was NBA free agency starting. And my timeline, because just coming off the finals, tweeting a lot about the Pacers, my algorithm is just Pacers shit. I was devastated. Miles, you'll never listen to this, I'm sure, but what a pleasure it was to root for you. Awesome player, awesome advocate for the city, awesome person. I still get chills when I go back to the clip and he's doing the Indy chant with the crowd while he's holding the Eastern Conference Finals trophy. He was with us through bad years. He's our all-time leading blocks record holder in franchise history. Unbelievable guy, unbelievable career. I wish him the best. I wish his team a lot of I almost said success, and that was not it. I wish his team a lot of bad seasons. I wish them nothing but terrible. They're in our division. I think that's what hurt people a lot more. They're in our not NBA divisions don't matter at all. Like, it doesn't really matter. But you do play those. It still
hurts a little bit more.
You do play those guys a lot, and we have bad blood with the Bucks. We always have, at least in the Halliburton era, if you will. It sucks to see. I get it. Anyone who hates him for it is dumb. The Pacers kind of gave him a disrespectful offer. I think he'd still be a Pacer if Halliburton didn't get injured. So that's kind of why it's almost like a double kick in the dick, because we lose our best player for a year, and now Miles Turner is a casualty because of that. The ownership doesn't want to go into the luxury for a year that we're not going to be really competing. And, I get it. From a financial standpoint, I get it. From Miles' standpoint, I get it. But the people that are ready to boo him at every single game, like he's Paul George, like begging for a trade out, which I didn't respect that either personally. But the people that want to boo him, I think, are terrible fans. They're bad advocates of the city, bad advocates of the fans. You are just a Twitter troll and you don't have eyeballs. So Miles, thank you for the service. Thank you for 10 years. It was incredible.
Or an understanding of how sports work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That wasn't a player decision. It wasn't a player decision.
It was, yeah. Are you going to have company loyalty to where you work if your direct competitor offers you, to put it in, I guess, normal terms, $40,000 more? Because they offered him $47,000 or $47 million more dollars.
But in terms of your like you're still like, oh, it's 80 million. It's like, dude, put that down your terms of life. You have to level it out. Listen, if it had been 5 million, 10 million, okay, that's different. It's way too much.
Yeah. But let me get one more thing off. On the basketball side of it, though, I get why the Pacers didn't want to pay it. You can't win championships on emotions, like from holding on to a team or a player because of emotions is not how you win. It just isn't. Miles did not have a good finals, man. He did not. I think he was like 3.6 rebounds and like 2 turnovers. He was like 10% from 3, it felt like. And I had a lot of his 3-overs like a dumbass because I kept being like, this is where he's going to step up. I mean, the combination of the Halliburton thing and his he just didn't really show up. We have 2 young guys that could, they could break out. I do think they'll make some moves. I kind of thought they'd make a play for DeAndre Ayton because he had signed for the Pacers 2 or 3 years ago as a restricted free agent before the Suns, topped the offer. But I'm a little disappointed with the lack of movement they've done. But again, Pritchard, I don't trust him like I'd trust Sam Presti or Brad Stevens. But he's done well with a lot of his moves, getting Halliburton, getting Siakam, signing McConnell, getting Nesmith, getting them. Like, those are all deals that he did. So I get it. I wish Miles the best. I wish the Bucks nothing but poor seasons and sad days. I wish him a lot of stats, a lot of rebounds, and a lot of money. Thank you again, Miles. So that's where I'll leave it.
And good segue here too. Listen, back to my Charleston thing. I have maybe C plus game when it comes to talking to chicks. One thing I rely on is my sports ranking list. That's either going to be a hit or it's just going to be a big strikeout. And him talking about the Midwest, dude, there's always going to be animosity when you guys kind of live in that close area. Yeah. And that's something we're excited to in these dog days of summer, get into our sports ranking list. It might be a whole show because it's going to get heated. It's going to get aggressive on which states we're going to rank where. And we're going to have and our rule is going to be, I think what we're going to do is, I'm just kind of spitballing this. We're both going to come to the day with our own lists. Yeah. 1 through 50. And then we're going to have to battle it down and have an agreed upon list. We can't leave the show till it's agreed upon. Yeah. One last thing, you brought up DeAndre Ayton on, sorry, however you pronounce the last name. The Suns. Let's talk about the Devin Booker deal. 2 years, I think it's 145. Yeah. Talk about a fucking payday. I mean, good for him. I mean, I saw it coming. I was kind of surprised it was only 2 years.
It was a max extension under contract.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense, Scott. Okay.
Dude, and
I didn't look too far into it. Okay. Thanks for the clarification there.
I got some guys on Twitter heated yesterday. Twitter's a rage bait machine, and I was playing the game, having some fun. Schefter retweeted Shams to explain the deal, and somebody goes, explain this to me in football terms, and I'll read my exact tweet. The guy just under Schefter's tweet goes, explain this deal in football terms, to which I responded, Trevor Lawrence signs a record-breaking deal even though he's not top 5 in his position, but a muddling franchise overpays to keep frail hope alive. And I accomplished my exact goal. For the record, Devin Booker is a phenomenal player, and he's not even close to the same sort of comparison as Trevor Lawrence. But this was anybody with eyeballs saw this was obvious rage bait. And I got some good ones. I got some funny ones. I got some good ones. Don't disrespect Booker like that. The you don't know ball acronym, which if that's your comeback, you're just weak. I just had to respond. I never have. Yeah. The one guy goes, name me 3 shooting guards better than Devin Booker, and I'll give you a follow right now. And I said, no, I'm just shooting from the hip, but I don't want your follow. And then finally, just what an awful comparison. I'm sitting there at the gym this morning, just like laughing at people getting actually frustrated. And then there's comments underneath comments. Obviously, guys, Devin Booker's unbelievable. Trevor Lawrence, I'm a South Carolina fan, so I naturally think Trevor Lawrence
sucks. He's not even a top 10 quarterback.
No,
he might not be top 15.
We should quarterback rank at some point.
Yep, maybe next week. Maybe next week, because I think this might be a good segue of the SEC All-American list just came out.
Yes, I forgot we were doing that. Let's go.
And I'm going to be honest.
While we're going to SEC, hold on real quick. While we're going to the SEC list, wrap up the basketball piece by telling the listeners that didn't see what our boy Colin Murray Boyles said after getting drafted.
When I don't know exactly what he said, but it was basically like, oh, fuck. He's like, listen, it's right around the 4th of July, and he has to go to Canada.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. I'm like, Boone, he didn't want to go.
Okay, Canada and Spain are different places, man. Toronto and Barcelona. Give me a break.
Hey, I had low-hanging fruit. I had to take it. Anyways, I respect it. My guy, that's a South Carolina. Be like, I don't want to go play for the Raptors. Dude, get out of here. And that's what you love about the guy. It just, what a great take, being like, fuck, I don't want to go play for the Raptors. And who really does? I mean, that franchise has kind of been in a down tier since they, trade everything away. And fuck yeah, CMB. I feel bad. I'm going to have to go watch him there. Hopefully he gets out of his rookie contract and just goes somewhere else quick.
I will say, the Raptors did kind of fuck everything over by doing the Kawhi Leonard thing, but at the end of the day, they won a championship. So, like, what does it matter? I can survive 10 shit years if you got me a championship for it. I'm good with it.
And they changed the jerseys. When they changed the jerseys, that's when I kind of lost all my faith in the Raptors. Listen, I know that was also before the championship still, but
you talking about the big Raptor?
Yeah, the purple Raptor. Was so sick.
Dude, but the jerseys of yesteryear were just better. Like when you had the Hawk, that was just a big Hawk like that. Like
Nets ones, the Nets ones that had like the sick. The Nets ones are so good.
The Suns with just the basketball.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever
Well, they sold out. They put like fucking like soccer when they put the logos on. No, they copied soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer's always been a thing.
Have you ever seen? And this is the last tangent I'll get on before we go to the SEC All-American team or the preseason teams, because we're SEC guys. The Denver Nuggets, if I can pull this up. Yeah, here we go. The Denver Nuggets have the best throwback game ever to be considered. And people knew that with this guy right here. Everyone knew about this guy. And then you have the fond memories of early Carmelo years and this guy. But nobody talking about my man here. That is the most incredible logo. And then
dude, I'm not hip to that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then back when they were the Denver Rockets, dude, look at this guy.
That's so sweet.
Like, imagine the upgrade for fans in 1971 when they're used to this. And all of a sudden you got Ricky Rocket over here just bouncing a ball. Like, I need this logo on a corduroy hat yesterday.
Actually, you have a great corduroy hat game too.
I do have some good hats. I got the Roadrunner online today. I'm not sure what that is, but I found it. I found it in my college roommate's dorm, which is also my dorm.
Even though we're both balding men, I've always had a good hat game, and your hat game far succeeds mine.
Yeah, I like a good lid. Maybe I'll start showing more lids off here as we go through the summer. But let's get into it. Enough tangents because
let's go into what we fucking know and what we fucking love. Because I'm gonna be honest, this whole week I'm not putting. This is a conservative estimate. I've spent 2.5 hours watching South Carolina preseason football shit this week. I am hot. I'm bothered, and I'm so goddamn ready for football season. That's what happens to me after July 4th, though. Because what screams America? Fucking college football and then NFL football. Oh my god,
yeah.
I can't.
I was literally looking at the teams and I just spilled my high noon all over me. It's okay, we move. Yahoo is just the first thing that came up, unless you have another one that you'd rather use.
No, that's cool.
It's all the same. So yeah, breaking down the first team offense. I guess Ev, how do you want to do this? Do you want to say where we disagree, where we agree, where we don't know as much or where just want to focus on what we agree with?
Let's go top to bottom and see what jumps out. Because the reason I say that is Arch Manning at 1 is an absolute disgrace. Listen, I'm a South Carolina guy. Do I want it to be Lenore Sellers? Absolutely. Who should it be? It should be Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. Arch Manning did not play a full season last year. He doesn't have the right to be 1. Just in my opinion. He didn't show me enough last year to be.
I don't disagree with you.
1. Garrett Nussmeier played a full year.
I don't disagree with you. I'm not upset by this though because I just knew it. I also think Arch will be better than Nussmeier.
Correct. I think it's going to be Arch or Lenoris. That's who I think. I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a disappointing year.
Yeah, it'll just depend, man. Because LSU, obviously, the quarterback position has a lot to do with your line, but and LSU pumps out linemen. We know this. But
yeah,
looking at this All-American team list, they don't have any on the first team, and you lost what's his name, the guy with the Patriots, Will Campbell. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. You lose him.
Will Howard.
Sorry, dude. I'm I indulged. Yeah. But
that's Nick's team.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he's in Charlotte. We're good.
I'm in a legal state. Arch Manning, I think he's going to be good. So let's move on to the guys that, are different, the guys we weren't expecting. Ahmad Hardy, I watched our games. I watched some Missouri. He's fine. I haven't really dove into this list because I knew we were going to do this on the show. So I'll have to see the other running backs, but none come to mind really that I'm missing.
Right. I think it's an interesting year for running backs, but I think that's a big SEC thing is a lot of running backs emerge because there's a lot of recruits that just don't get playing time because there's so much talent at the running back position in the SEC.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have their breakout year. And Hardy, I've seen a little bit of him play. Do I think he's first team level? No, but to your point, I don't know if I have somebody else I'd put above him.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know about the name.
And all of the majority of the running back preseason stuff I've heard is Big Ten and Notre Dame. Obviously, Jeremiah Love is kind of the cream of the crop right now going into the season.
I will say Wisner I did like a lot from what I saw last year. I liked a lot of what I saw from Wisner at Texas.
Yeah, I do like
Wisner.
I do too. Jaden Ott, again, hand up, y'all. This is preseason for us too. We haven't deep dove into everything. We went to the Oklahoma-South Carolina game. We had a couple road sodas, and we also were just spanking ass.
We also were the best top 5 defensive line in the country.
Yeah, but did Jaden Ott? I don't remember, even the name. So I could just be wrong there. Moving down though, this one hurts me seeing him there, Kevin Concepcion. This is the guy I was texting you about a lot. We were in his final 3, I believe, as a transfer out of NC State. I liked him a lot. I will say I went to my dad is a football coach for Duke. We've mentioned that on the show before, but I went to a conference with him, just met some of the guys he's in his coaching tree, if you will. And there's a guy that he worked with, I think back in William and Mary days, that's now at NC State. And I was telling him how bummed I was not to get Kevin Concepcion, and he was like, dude, you don't want him. That guy is a locker room cancer. And I mean, that could just be bitter coach syndrome. So that did make me feel a little bit better. Bless you.
Thank you. Ryan Williams, there's just no doubt. Second best wide receiver in the country.
Yeah, and on that same level, Cam Coleman, no doubt. Cam Coleman was a monster last year. That guy is a problem. And I think Auburn is going to be better this year because they got that kid, Jackson Arnold, from was it Oklahoma? Yeah, I think he's the real deal. I do think they're going to have a good season, and people are going to be put on notice from Cam Coleman. That guy is a baller.
I think maybe he's a year older. When he played us, he was just rattled. But to be fair, it was a rattling game. It was
but he didn't come in until the fourth or the second half at least. The Marcel Reed, is that the guy's name, or is that Texas Tech or Texas A&M?
That's Texas A&M.
Andrew Hawkins. When Hawkins started that game, because we fucked his day up. Yeah. Jackson Arnold led the scoring drive.
Yeah, it was
But Hawkins
one
started.
Name we're missing, and I think he's probably been on a second team. Is I forget his name, the wide receiver out of Wingo maybe. Out of Texas.
We'll get down there. Yeah. Deion Burks, this doesn't surprise me only because everyone was talking about how injured Oklahoma's receiving core was. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming this is just the guy. Obviously, I didn't watch any of him last year, and I'm more of an armchair quarterback than a break down the film kind of guy. So this makes sense to me just because what I've heard. I have no need to get into the offensive line stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a trenches guy. I'm 5'8". No, nothing to do with it.
I will say, as far as offensive lineman names go, that rocks.
Yep. That's the kind of guy you want protecting quarterback.
Yeah.
And also Parker Brailsford. That sounds like an Oklahoma guy, or Alabama guy, and I bet he's filthy.
This name I do recognize. Caden Proctor. I believe he's a absolute monster of a human. So checks out. This is just, let's spend some time roster baiting off this. Because
I might jerk off that later. I mean, maybe not, but
that guy rocks. Obviously, we're talking about Dylan Stewart. He had an interview earlier this offseason that was really awesome. As a South Carolina fan, they're just like, who are you most excited to hit? And he just responds, I think, was like the quarterback. And she goes, which quarterback? He goes, I just like to hit quarterbacks.
He's the kind of guy that changes the face of a defense. He's someone that, as a recruit coming in, you want to play next to that guy because he's going to make you better. And from everything I've heard out of South Carolina coaches, not only is this guy has all the talent in the world, he's a team first guy, is everything I've heard, and he's also a works his ass off in practice guy, which is incredibly rare to find in a defensive lineman, especially when you're as good as he was as a freshman.
Yeah.
And he wants to make that next step to be a guy that's a Williams guy, a Chase Young, a guy that goes top 5 in the draft because he wants to make all those steps to develop himself instead of just relying on his athleticism. Yeah. You can get away with in college when you're as good as he is.
Yeah.
But he wants to make that next step and really be a true game changer where you can rush 3 down linemen and they can bring 6 to protect, and you're still concerned about getting sacks.
Yeah. A funny little tidbit that always just makes
Colin Simmons out of Texas. He showed it in the playoffs too, and I feel like he, like Dylan Stewart, kept getting better all of last year.
Colin Simmons is a beast. Just 2 quick things on Dylan Stewart. The playing with Kyle Kennard this past year was huge for him, I think, from a take some heat off him early, just to let him get his feet underneath him, but also see just what it looks like to be a leader in a locker room. But 2, just this always cracks me up. Dylan Stewart is from Friendship Academy in Washington, D.C., and that guy is not a friend to any quarterback. So, those are my last. Just going off, Elsie Overton obviously is a monster. Anthony Hill was an absolute problem all season. Yep. That guy rocks. Whit Weeks, I only know that I know him because every time I hear him make a play, I'm like, that's a baseball player. Or like a slimy vice president, like a Republican vice president from Alabama, Whit Weeks. Just some real Michael Taft as well from Texas.
Incredible.
That guy,
that guy's a football player.
Yeah, him and Nakubu next to each other were just fun to watch.
I was a Notre Dame
Makuba, sorry.
Michael Taft, he isn't as big or maybe quite as hard of a hitter, but his football game knowledge, back in the Brady Quinn, Jeff Samardzija days at Notre Dame, he reminds me a lot of a Tom Zbikowski, just kind of that field safety. Like he's not quite as fast as everybody else, but he's just always there making plays, especially at the college level. And the difference between him and Tom Zbikowski, like Tom Zbikowski didn't have a great NFL career. Maybe that was because of drinking, but hey, also firefighter for the Chicago Fire Department. So thank you for your service. But Michael Taft is just a ball knower, and I forget which court. I think he played either against or with Quinn Ewers in college. He would have
played with him.
So he's just a big time player. Like he was always there last year, and like he's just a great. We talked about Conception being a bad locker room guy. He's a perfect locker room guy. He's a guy you want in the locker room, especially around young players. He's going to lead that Texas defense, and I think the Texas defense is going to be scary this year.
I mean, just look at it. You got 4 Texas defenders on the first team. The thing that sticks out to me about this team, and it's different, I think it's going to be something we might see to come. There is a notable lack of Alabama first team. You get the Georgia guys you're always going to get because Georgia just drafts at a different kind of drafts. They recruit at a different level. But can you think of in your lifetime, or at least in the last couple of years, that you've seen just one Alabama player on a defensive SEC list?
Well, I can tell you. Can you give me the one word why? And it's not a word; it's a proper noun.
NIL. No. Saban. Okay.
I mean, we talked about this too, me and you over text. It's crazy thing. Like South Carolina is a pretty big time school in the sense. But compared to Georgia, dude, we're their fucking little brother right now. Like our 4 biggest recruits would be third string to who Georgia. Georgia's a recruiting play of their own when it comes to defense. Yeah. I mean, and here's why. Look at the fucking Eagles defense in the NFL. Yeah. It's just a fucking feeder program right now. And we can get into that in weeks in future, but someone needs to do something about that in the NFL. And if someone doesn't step in, I'm going to have to do something about it, whether that's a, rape allegation or something. We'll have to figure something out.
Oh man, we might have to cut that. Otherwise they're going to know you did it on purpose. First team specialists. Good job, guys. I got nothing on these. All right. And this is, again, just to remind people, this is the first time we're looking at these lists. There's your guy, actually, Ryan Wingo. So you were on that. I don't agree with Nussmeier here. Obviously, I think it should be Sellers. I think Sellers is the most dynamic quarterback, probably. You do have to respect Arch Manning's running ability. Arch Manning can book it. I get why they do this, but these lists should be projections towards the season. We know exactly what Nussmeier is. Nussmeier is a really, really, really good quarterback. He's got first-round potential, but we know exactly what he is as a college quarterback. There's nothing else, I don't think, to his game. He passes a great ball. He kind of shrunk a little bit in some big seasons, but he's got a pretty pass. He's going to be a good quarterback probably at the next level, and he's going to be a top quarterback in the SEC for sure. I don't see how you could want him. If you're looking for ceiling, Lenore Sellers is the guy. But obviously, I'm reeking of bias, and I accept that.
And one thing I want to say, the Nussmeier thing too, and I love that he's on here too. I think Aaron Anderson's gonna have an unbelievable year. Wide receiver at LSU. He has a lot of talent. He has just so much athletic ability. His route running, I feel like it's gotten a lot crisper. Just looking at LSU like tape from last year. And I don't think the secondaries in the SEC has been are as good as they have been in previous years. So I think he could have a really good year.
I just think the receivers are better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think people this generation, there isn't quite as much. I think it's also because the game of college football has changed to the fact that it's more receiver friendly than it is D-back friendly.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that's partially what it is.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of a, subtlety to your game as a defensive back.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
What about run backs? I do love that Travion Moss is there for Texas A&M.
Le'Veon. But yeah.
Le'Veon, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't read during my glasses. My bad.
Yeah, Le'Veon Moss is a baller. And then the other receiver that I wanted to mention as well, I mean, I think they nailed these receivers, but Eric Singleton, I go back to what I said. Auburn is going to be a good team as long as Hugh Freeze doesn't fuck it up, which he could do. He could absolutely do. Auburn has good players, man. They do.
My question is, I haven't looked at Auburn's schedule. I want to know what Auburn's schedule looks like because they could be a subtly very good team, but they could also have a really tough schedule like us. And
dude, we have a tough schedule, but I'm less worried about our schedule this year than I was last year, and it's the same schedule. But I think part of that is I'm just more optimistic on what we have at quarterback,
and wide receiver.
We'll get into it. This is the Nick Harbor year.
It's the year where I am confident in being a shootout with a team, and I can honestly say I think we can go balls to the wall with any team in the country when it comes to shooting it to a shootout. If we get into a shootout, and that's the thing with college football, it doesn't happen in the NFL. Something about a mojo in a game changes where defense becomes irrelevant in college football. So no matter how good that defense is, if you get to a 28-28 game, midway through the third, for whatever reason, I feel like defense just drops off. And just if you have talent on the offense, they just play better at that level and surpasses it. Because I think the biggest jump from an offense in college football, especially the SEC Big Ten, compared to an NFL defense, I don't think there's as big of a jump as there is from a defense in college to the defense in the NFL. There's such a bigger jump, in my opinion, the talent you're going against. And
a fast, athletic outside backer in college a lot of times is the same size as a safety, in the NFL. It's just different. You just got to be more of a physical specimen.
Yeah.
You got anything else on these guys? You ready to move to 17?
Yeah, let's scroll on down.
All right, here. And here's our Bama team. I love seeing Kilgore on this. They SEC Network did a really cool South Carolina deep dive, and they dove into the Kilgore, Jalen and Jelon Kilgore and just their story. Just really cool guys. Beyond that, some of the guys that stick out, I love Caleb Banks. I laughed just there, not because of Caleb Banks, but because I saw the name Harold Perkins, and that guy he's approaching Cam Rising career numbers in my head. He's really. I just feel like I remember Harold Perkins since I was in college, which I know is obviously a dramatic take. It's just one of those names that everyone keeps talking about, the next guy, and I just I keep waiting on it. He keeps getting hurt or suspended or something.
Yeah, you are right.
He's got to be at least fifth year, right?
Dude, nowadays you could be a seventh year for all we know with all the rules.
I mean, with that homie from Miami last year, that was a ninth year.
Let's hold on. Quick shout. Rahul Fashan. If the NCAA doesn't allow him to play, we're boycotting the season but actually we're going to win national champion either way, so it doesn't matter. But the NCAA is trying to hold us back.
Yeah, they always are. It's always the teams I pick. No, never has been. Deontay Lawson, also good player. But I don't have a ton left here, guys. It's our preseason as well. I'm really just focused on the South Carolina players, if I'm honest. And what a
there's
time.
The guy, the Heisman hopeful. Actually, no. Apart from injuries, the Heisman winner.
Yeah,
Lamar is leading his team to a national championship berth at the minimum.
I'll be placing some irresponsible money on one.
I get my bonus in a couple weeks, and I'm going to be honest. They say bet on what you love. I'm not sure who said that. I think I might have said it.
But that might have been you.
But that's what I'm going to do. Triple down, quadruple down. Magic. Lenoris Magic. I want you guys to remember that name. Lenoris Magic. Forget his last name. It's Lenoris Magic. He's going to do what nobody else ever could. Win us a national championship and shock the goddamn world.
He's incredible. I mean, barring injury, he really does have Oscar. I was looking at Oscar Delp. He does have Heisman potential. He's athletic. He's throwing a better ball. He's learning how to read the defense. Some people are riding him high. Some people are hating on him. It just kind of is what it is. But I couldn't be more happy with the guy that we have. Hearing his recruiting story, Connor was telling me a little bit about just how it was. Kid out of Florence, small school, and the team, everyone just loved him, from his attitude to the ball jumps out of his hand, to use that cliche. The ground jumps off his foot, to use a new cliche. I mean, he changes games.
Jump off his body?
Yeah. Like in that Clemson game last year, I felt better about the plays that were clear pass plays that he broke the pocket than any other play. Because if you get him in space, it's like the old like when Michael Vick was on the Falcons and Madden, and you just like broke the pocket and scrambled and nobody could touch you because he's just so fast. It was like that. I mean, he's just a different kind of game player, and he's so big and strong.
And the thing is, too, he's actually doesn't get enough credit for it, keeps his eyes downfield, and he does run a lot. And I think one more year of maturity, too, he's going to stay behind that line even more. And how good he is, it's going to just open up the field even more. And with wide receivers, with the capability we have, and this might be a crazy shout. He's a 3-star recruit. Jalen Sellers, his younger brother.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't underrate the amount of times that they've thrown the ball in the backyard together and just knowing where your fucking brother is going to be.
Yeah, they won a state championship together. I mean, albeit it was Florence, but having the receiver quarterback like mojo, especially in a scramble drill, he's going to know where, like Jalen is going to know where to go.
I think Jalen's going to get some time because of that, because it's just he's going to look like Jalen's the kind of guy, he's probably not going to look nearly as good on the second team, but when he gets his first team reps in practice, he's going to look coach.
Was he a 3-star?
Scary. What?
Was he only a 3-star? For some reason, I thought he was a 4.
Yeah, only a 3-star. He's a little undersized, I think.
Yeah.
He's a little skinnier than Lenoris too.
Well, yeah, but he's 2 years younger, but yeah, he's smaller. Lenoris is 6'5", 240 or something like that. That's a big.
One name that does jump out to me on this list too, apart from Lenoris, is Oscar Delp.
I've
been big on Oscar Delp. Like he came close to coming to South Carolina too. And he, studied behind, Darnell Washington, and then one of my best calls of all time, Brock Bowers at tight end. I think he has potential to have a really breakout year this year, especially with someone like Gunnar Stockton, who isn't that proven. And I'm kind of glad he didn't come here. Change his commitment. But as a little safety blanket for, Gunnar, he's a big body. I think he wants to be 6'5", and maybe 6'6" even. And he's got great hands. He's a good route runner. Like, he could definitely open up field in that Georgia defense. And, there's a lot of names in that Georgia offense, wide receivers that we haven't heard of, because, like we said, their fucking funnel is unbelievable. So,
yeah. The only other guy I'll mention too, obviously, because anytime we see a South Carolina guy, we're going to jerk him off for a second. It's good to see Josiah here.
He had a great year last year.
Yeah. Somebody I'm looking out for, and I knew that there'd be a running back whose name sparked my attention. Caden Durham, I think, is going to have a really good year. LSU running backs is kind of a cliche, but Caden Durham, I think he's going to have a better year than this ranking suggests. Trevor Gooseby, just while I'm there, that's a sick defensive line's name. Offensive line, I'm not as positive on.
Yeah, it sounds like you might let up a fucking goose to the fucking hole, and I don't love that.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not gonna lie here. I don't know many of these guys. Won't lie. The games haven't happened yet. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know the guys I don't. I don't recognize a lot of those names. So.
I'm not gonna pretend to be Mel Kiper. I'm just not.
No.
I'm McShay. We're not. Give us the year. All those names. However, what's funny to look back on now is Caleb Downs, who is in next year's draft,
he'll be the best player coming out.
I'm not going to put this lightly. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with my draft history. I'm pretty familiar. If he was the first overall pick as a safety, no matter who takes him, I don't think it's a bad pick. It's kind of like a Sean Taylor situation where he is that fucking good. And he was ex-Alabama. That's why I bring it up now. In case anyone didn't know, hopefully you don't live under a fucking rock. But he is the best player in the country, maybe behind Jeremiah Smith. And and they're on the same team.
Yeah.
Those battles in practice, I would pay money to just go watch that. Not in the state of Ohio, like maybe if they do a practice somewhere else, I'm not going to go to Ohio, but like.
So I couldn't agree more. This whole draft value thing there's a fourth team. Okay, we'll get into that here in a second. This whole draft value thing, I get it because obviously a B quarterback is going to change your franchise's history or longevity much quicker than an A++ safety. Sure. But if Caleb Downs is what I think he will be the next level, and you take him number 1 overall, sure, there might have been somebody that's more of a game changer because of the positional value, but you're not going to be upset with that pick. Like, no, he's going to be incredible.
And it may not be an immediate thing too, but think about it this way. I mean, look what Ed Reed did. Also, look, before Sean Taylor died, look what he was starting to do to that Redskins defense. Look what Ed Reed did to it. Ed Reed literally took away. I mean, you can go far back as Deion Sanders, who takes away a whole half of the field. You have to game plan around him. The best head coach in the NFL is like Ed Reed terrified him. He's like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. My favorite highlight of Ed Reed is not one that most people think about. It's Bill Belichick breaking down the film where Ed Reed baited one of the top 3 quarterbacks of all time, Peyton Manning, by running left, and then immediately knew based off the way the play was going to bolt left and just intercept the pass because he knew Peyton was going to throw it the second he made the break. Like, yeah, and that's the kind of. It's not even that Caleb Downs is that good of a like just a tackler, an interceptor, an athlete. It's his game knowledge. Like, he is always knows where the play is. It's something that the things he does show up in the stat sheet, but even what's more impressive about him is what doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
So you've called something back for me. You remember a couple weeks ago I said I have a hypothetical that you don't need to have any research for that I just want to ask off the cuff. Well, you kind of led me right to it, so I'm going to go for it here. I'm going to stop sharing just real quick. Give me your all-time, NFL only, so not college, all-time best one-on-one practice drill. So you just mentioned Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. Of all time, what one-on-one receiver, corner, receiver, safety, you could even go tight end if you want. I was thinking receiver corner for this. What matchup do you want to watch? I'm talking like 10 reps. They're just going one-on-one, cover me.
All right, so I think the corner answer, it really has to be Deion Sanders, I think.
I agree. I don't necessarily say that. I'm not saying I'm not saying he's even the best in my opinion, but I want his attitude in the one-on-one.
Like I'd love to say Ed Reed, if you give me like a 7-on-7 drill, that's why Ed Reed's my pick for 7-on-7. One-on-one, and this is probably going to shock some people, and it's Terrell Owens.
Really?
I think Terrell Owens, that big body, and he has a little bit more size, and his route running was so good and so crisp. Going against Deion Sanders, because don't get me wrong, Jerry Rice was absolutely incredible. Like, Jerry Rice is my second pick, but I think Terrell Owens, because here's the thing, I think Deion Sanders versus Jerry Rice, they're a little more even match, profile wise,
right?
But you kind of know what you're gonna get. But Terrell Owens has the advantage over Deion Sanders, but Deion Sanders is more athletic. So watching him be able to and Deion Sanders was not just a great defender, such a smart defender too. Watching how he'd approach that on a thing to do, I think Deion Sanders loses the route maybe the first 3 times, maybe the first 2, but then watching him recover and figure out and trying to bait Terrell Owens, try to play those mental games, because Deion Sanders, say whatever you want about him, he was a mental. He was Goliath when it came to the mental game against receivers. Like he would bait people into like doing stuff and just out-thought receivers because you had to play that game because what receiver is really more athletic than Deion Sanders? And then putting him at a pretty big disadvantage against Terrell Owens, I think that'd be so entertaining to watch.
Yeah. I don't hate anything you just said. History, this is going to come off as Larry Fitzgerald slander. History will remember Larry Fitzgerald as a better receiver than Terrell Owens, and it's just not the case. I love Larry Fitzgerald, and his career and longevity can't be ignored. But if you're looking at just bar for bar, verse for verse, if I'm taking both in their prime, who am I taking? It's T.O. History will forget how good and dominant T.O. was because of the diva stuff, because of he'll always be remembered for the sit-ups in the driveway. People will not remember how good he was.
Well, people also forget how good he was against the with Donovan McNabb as quarterback, who's a good quarterback, but not really an accurate quarterback. Like he just had the pump arm, and Terrell Owens is. Here's the thing about Terrell Owens, people kind of forget. One, he was a diva, but he was also not a bad locker room guy. Look what he tried to press conference with Tony Romo, and I respect the shit out of it. Like, he was a diva, but he was an outside diva. He wasn't my quarterback sucks guy. No,
he's the epitome of like outside the locker room, but just about me. Inside the locker room is inside the locker room. I'm gonna be me outside of it. Yeah, that's fine. You do you, and he would die for his quarterback if his quarterback gave him, the balls.
But Terrell Owens, criminally underrated, and he would he played in the air where you took hits. Like, I'll always remember when he caught the ball, it was a 49er, he catches it, I want to say, on the half-yard line, and takes a boom to the head, and just gets rocked in the back, and still holds on to the football. Like, great possession receiver. And I will actually argue with you, he might go down as a better receiver than fucking Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know if that's
I'm not saying I think he's a better receiver. We're going to get to a point in history where the stats don't tell the story, and people that people that haven't watched him play aren't around. And from a total story, like T.O. had high highs, but then he also had a lot of like if you think after he left the Cowboys, he went to the Bills for a couple of years. He had the stint with Chad Ochocinco where he was Ocho Uno. There's a Larry Fitzgerald, I think, will be remembered for better than he was because of his career and being with the Cardinals and being that guy, and he's got the counting numbers. Whereas T.O. has he's got the Niners years, he's got the Eagles years, and he's got the Cowboys years. But then there's a lot of other stuff that's just kind of stuff.
Well, also you have to remember how good of hands Larry Fitzgerald had. Probably the best hands in NFL.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald. That's why I started with this is not meant to be slanderous. I think my matchup, though, I'm taking Deion with you, but I'm matching his shit talk with the guy that I think is the most athletic receiver of all time, and in my opinion, the GOAT, what stats or not, and that's Randall Gene Moss. Randy Moss at his peak, Minnesota Vikings mooning the Packers against prime time, and I don't care what era or what team Prime was the best on, but I want him in that Atlanta Dirty Birds jersey. That's just for the views for me. I want Vikings Moss running routes against Dirty Birds Deion.
And one thing I want to conclude that on too, I saw an interview with Deion Sanders, like him talking, it was so relevant.
I lost you for saying it's so relevant. What?
They're going against receivers that were lined up with it, Hall of Fame quarterbacks and wide receivers, like Michael Irvin with Troy Aikman. You had Steve Young, Joe Montana with
Jerry Rice,
Sterling Sharp too. Even Sterling Sharp, thank God he got into the Hall of Fame. South Carolina legend who. In hindsight, he could have been on the same level with Jerry Rice. He was competing him. People always forget about that. And
Chris Carter, I don't remember who the Vikings quarterback was, but Chris Carter was a beast.
Culpepper a little bit.
I know, but who was before?
I don't know if Fran was still there, but
okay. Yeah, because Chris Carter was a problem in those early 90s,
Oh.
even into all of the 90s, really. No, I 100% agree with you. I will say, yeah, go ahead.
You skipped the fourth team. We gotta go to the fourth team.
I didn't skip the fourth team. You brought up a perfect opening for that one-on-one, so I had to just go ahead and do it while I was there. And then I didn't know, just because, listen, we're new here too. Our goal by the end of July is to figure out a way for us to both be on screen at the same time. I just didn't know if I didn't stop sharing, if we'd be having that conversation and only this would be on screen. So I figured Fourth team, this is correct. There's a universe that's not that crazy that DJ Lagway and Lenore Sellers are the best two quarterbacks in the SEC. DJ Lagway is a problem. Florida fans should be pumped about DJ Lagway, and they are. I mean, his first couple games, not the greatest for sure, but he was a true freshman on a poorly coached team because Billy Napier is a dumbass. DJ Lagway is gonna be fucking good.
And there's also a world where you see that name, if you scroll down a little bit there, Zachariah Branch, great receiver, but I'm looking two names lower. Nick Harbor, who took off track season because he wanted to win a national fucking championship. That's the guy you want on your team. That's called locker room commitment. We talk about locker room guys. He could be an Olympic sprinter. He's like, no, fuck that. I want to win a national championship and play spring ball with Lenore Sellers. That's a guy that got his hands right. Fuck the starting gate. Give me the fucking what the fucking machine called. Just throw the footballs at
the jugs machine.
Jug machine all day long. That's what he wanted. His hands are going to be perfect, and you don't want to play him off the line. 6'5", 225, and he runs a fucking 10-second 100-meter dash. Good fucking luck. Put two players on him because you don't want Lenore Sellers once he gets that touch on him. Once they connect once, it's goddamn game over. And that's my rant on fucking Nick Harbor. He's going to be a top first team. He might honestly be in the All-American conversation. We're hopefully going to be talking about him. He's not going to be on the Ryan Williams, fucking Jeremiah Smith level, but he's going to be the one step lower and way more diabolical.
Yeah, I can't match that passion, so I'll try to bring in some pieces there. If Nick Harbor can be what we think he can be and what we need him to be, and then you combine him with people like Mazio Bennett, you combine him with Jalen Sellers, you combine him with some of these other guys that we have that are – who's the guy we have from freaking Coastal, Jared Brown. If you combine him with some of these other smaller guys and you have a big threat, so you got Jared Brown and Nick Harbor being able to go deep, Nick Harbor being able to do those post routes across the middle, some bigger boy routes, win fades in the end zone. And then you have Mazio cutting across the middle, just being a yard eater. That's set up to be a good offense. As long as you have a run game. Yeah, as long as you have a run game that can support keeping the offense balanced, which I'm still very high on Attaway. I know he's not on the list, and we're now doing a South Carolina tangent again. And Nick Harbor could, if he can just get better with the hand-eye, which I know it's an important piece for a receiver to be able to receive, he could be a real problem. People forget he was a 5-star recruit. I mean, he's an athletic freak.
He was a 4-star, but yeah, that's okay.
Was he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
A 5-star track recruit.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't wrong.
Yeah. No, not wrong. My bad to correct you. I just wanted people to know.
Okay. No. Hey, fair.
But, I mean, I think everyone should be terrified of this South Carolina team, and we've talked about it. What they need to do to Virginia Tech in the opening week, I want Virginia Tech to have to take the bus home. They don't deserve a plane after what happened. I want the plane to be canceled.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
Maybe walk them home. They might skip their second game. I want personal fouls on defense. I want you to know when you walk into South Carolina, you're going to have a problem. And when I'm in the stands, it's going to be a bigger problem.
All right, let's go to the defense. Wait, last one. This I'm assuming is Mike Bobo's kid. I'm just taking a guess. Can't be that many Bobos.
Yeah, he probably bought his way in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Again, I don't know Is Josiah Trotter Jeremiah Trotter's kid?
He's solid.
And Scooby Williams, I remember him from last year.
Scooby Williams is fantastic. Scooby Williams is fantastic.
Yeah.
Not when he tackles fucking Lenore Sellers, but other than that, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, not many are though. Not many are. Yeah, but again, I'm not going to talk on things that I definitely don't know any answers to. There's a couple guys on here I know. I didn't even realize they did a fourth team, to be honest with you.
And we got DQ Smith. DQ Smith, he's going to fill right in. He had some great plays last year for us. He's going to develop. He's going to be a great safety for us. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I like DQ. I think he's got a lot of upside, and I think I know, guys, that this just turned into a South Carolina jerk-off session.
That's what it's going to be for a lot of the summer. Get used to it, because listen, I want to be the one that said, I told you fucking so, and then we're going to have the fucking credits to prove it.
Yeah, I won't lie. When we thought about doing this, in our heads, we're like, no, we will be unbiased. But both of us knew in the back of our heads, the second we saw South Carolina names, we weren't going to talk about Arch Manning. We were going to talk about Dylan Stewart. We weren't going to talk about Nussmeier. We were going to talk about Josiah Anderson. There was people that we knew we were going to do.
Here's the thing. I want to talk about national champions. I don't want to talk about losers.
Yeah. Put that shit on a quote. So, Ev, I know we had some other stuff we wanted to get to. We're running about an hour 45 right now. Do you want to save the rest of the cinema talk for next week, or do you want to still go into it?
I mean, at this point, we're already over an hour 45. Should we just rock a 2 hour?
We could absolutely
rock our first 2 hours. I think this is one of our better ones, and we got passionate, and just giving people something to expect.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, this came up. We were talking about it earlier. Just making sure I don't have any texts about dinner. We were talking about it earlier, and with the Jurassic Park pieces and some of the movies we had watched, and I was talking to Evan about the movie selection I had on the plane, and we thought, we haven't done a movie draft yet. There's a couple of. Do you want to just go straight into the draft, or do you want to talk a couple movies?
I think we should go straight in the draft, but give them the prerequisites here.
Yeah. So we decided, because obviously Jurassic World, we talked about at the beginning of the show. We decided, we haven't done a draft of movie series yet. So a couple stipulations here as we'll go through this. One thing to note, the movie series has to have over 2 movies. So I actually took the liberty of writing some down just to not confuse people. Movies like Dune. I know there's going to be a third movie. It's not out yet, at least of the new ones. Can't be picked. Movies like Avatar. They're working on the third one. There's only 2 out. Can't be picked. Knives Out came up as a movie series, which kind of surprised me, but Knives Out and Glass Onion, both really good movies, wouldn't count. And then finally for our younger listeners, Monsters Inc., Monsters University, those 2 don't count. The other piece to note, movie series that have big time prequels like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, that's 2 different selections for the purposes of this draft. So if you pick Lord of the Rings, you don't get The Hobbit as well. Same with Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. You have to stipulate which one you want. So Evan could take one and I could take the other, essentially. And then finally, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can't just take the universe. You can take the Avengers or Iron Man or whatever, but you can't take the universe.
But you can also take the Avengers and Iron Man. So
yeah. That's
the Avengers series with all of them, but you can also take Iron Man.
Yeah. The last thing I have to note is, as I was doing research for this, I was realizing how many globally and popularly accepted all-time series that I have not seen. So these lists are going to make people mad, but respecting the integrity of the game, I'm not going to list a series just for clicks because I haven't seen it. Actually, I think I'll get more clicks by saying that they're not in my top. So.
And I do need to acknowledge, I said a few podcasts back, there wasn't a series that I haven't seen. Indiana Jones, I have not seen, so you will not see that on my list.
Yeah, and I'm from Indiana, but I've only seen one of them. So we'll also not see that on my list. For our above 70 viewers, sorry. No Harrison Ford.
So, that took me a second. So I think there's a clear-cut 1. I think there's a clear-cut 2 and 3. I'm not sure about your 3. But what do you want?
I think there's a clear-cut 1 and 2. I put them on the same path, though. because we did series and not trilogies.
Yeah, I have a clear-cut one, so
I'm good to take the 2-3 turn if you want the one.
okay. Harry Potter.
That was also my clear-cut one. But I was fine with the other one that I'll take. Let me just get the notes out. Yeah, listen. I am a Harry Potter nerd.
And if you let the one I wanted to fall to me at 4, I'm gonna give you some shit. But I think you're gonna. I think you're gonna because it's just not your style.
I might. I had to put these into tiers. I will say I knew not going one I was going to lose Harry Potter. Harry Potter is my favorite series, but I think there's value here that I can pick up and really get a wide variety on my list. So with the number 2 pick, this one is easy. I'm going to go Lord of the Rings.
Yep, that was the 2. That was the 2.
Yeah.
And then the 3, this is where I'm going to see if it happens because there's a clear-cut 3 for me.
I have a couple here actually, and again, I've seen there's some that you will not see on my list, even though I know that they're incredible series. I just haven't seen them. For my number 3 series, I'm going Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wasn't it? Thank you.
Let's hear it.
The Dark Knight trilogy, baby. That's the 1, 2, 3. That was it for me. It wasn't close.
I've got bad news. I have not. I haven't seen the third. I'm saying it. I got to be honest. I haven't seen the third one. I actually thought about watching it. I'm not a big Batman guy.
It doesn't even have to be Batman. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
No, it's good. No, it's good. I just haven't seen the whole thing. I can't pick it.
And then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Avengers right after that too.
Another one I haven't seen. I haven't seen any of the Marvels, so I've only seen Iron Man.
Yeah,
you can clearly tell I'm not a superhero guy. Our lists are so different. Okay. With my next pick, this one is going to be outside the box, but since I have the next 2 picks, I'm not worried about it. I just think it's going to play. Give me Toy Story. Give me Toy Story. Give me Woody.
I had it on my list. Had it on my list. Great pick. Great pick.
And they keep coming out with movies and they keep being good. All right. This is where it gets tough. I have one more pick in my tier 1 list, and I don't think I'm going to pick it. I think right here is where I'm going to take The Matrix. I'm going to take the Matrix trilogy.
Didn't have it on my list, and I'm fucking upset with myself I didn't. That's a great pick.
I know what y'all are thinking because I said Matrix trilogy. Yes, I did see the 4th one. No, I don't think it should be included, and that's why I specifically said the Matrix trilogy. Unbelievable movies. For a movie to be that sick and be made that long ago, kind of the same point with Harry Potter, with Lord of the Rings, like for it to be that good still today, I think is a testament.
All right. Now, I'm going to go with a classic here. Not classic, really, but I'm going to go John Wick.
A little Keanu action there.
And then here's one it's just my childhood, and it's probably not going to play that well, but I have to go true to my heart. Air Bud.
Wow. I don't hate that at all. Not on my list, but not because it shouldn't be on the list. I just didn't even think about it.
It wasn't on my list till we started drafting.
Really? Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Maybe a recency thing, but you know what? I was feeling them.
My board. Should we let's go to 8 maybe? Because I still got a lot on the board. I got a lot on the board. Unless you want to just like
nope, let's rock. We can rock 8.
Well, I think we have to do an odd number though, right?
No, we can do 8.
You started, so I have to finish. So we'll just figure it out until there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna take the Hobbits and complete my set.
All right.
The Hobbits got a little hate. I don't really care. I thought the Hobbits were awesome.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Hobbits, and then I'm gonna go with the Hunger Games.
Good one. flip back. I'm gonna go Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Okay. I thought you were about to say Jerry Maguire in my head. I was like, but yeah, it's just me being dumb.
And then we've talked about earlier, I'm going Jurassic Park.
I'm surprised that went so low for you.
The second one I'm not a fan of. I love 1 and 3.
Okay. Just taking some notes, and then Jurassic Park. All right. My next two, I guess. Oh, man. I'm going to take the Jason Bourne movies, the Bourne trilogy.
Okay.
And then, again, I'm going to go outside of my rankings because this is the movie that kind of set off the thought for this whole draft. And I'm going to take the Equalizers. Definitely recency bias. Definitely recency bias here.
The third one may be the best one.
That's what I was going to say. So I always loved the first one. I hadn't seen the second or the third, so I decided I was going to watch the second on the plane. Obviously, when you're going to Europe, you only have time to watch one movie because you got to get a little bit of sleep typically. But the second one I thought was really good. The third one just is incredible. It's one of those rare movies that each movie doesn't really have that much to do with the last one, but there's key pieces that do build that are important. And they're all just fucking badass. So yeah.
Okay. So how many are we at each right now?
I'm at 8. You're at 7.
All right. We just go to 10.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna have to take the Godfather series.
Yeah. People are gonna be furious that that's so low. I haven't seen it, so people will be more furious about that.
And then this one people might hate, The Hangover. I think the second Hangover movie might be one of the most criminally underrated movies of all time. The third one sucks, but I'll grab it at my 9 slot.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's worse things to grab there. I'm absolutely thrilled to get this pick in my 9 spot. I never in a million years thought I'd find this here. Give me that big green bastard. I'm taking Shrek at 9. Shrek 1, incredible. Shrek 2, incredible. Shrek the third, solid. But, I mean, just iconic movies. Tell me if this one counts. I'm going to take it here at my 10 hole. It's my last pick of the draft, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, it's 10 hole.
It's my last pick of the draft. So tell me if this doesn't count. I understand if it doesn't. But I'm going to take Austin Powers. 3 movies. They're all completely different.
I'll give it to you.
I'm taking Austin Powers. I have backups, but I'm taking it.
And then I'm going to take Cars.
I like that pick.
Fuck Star Wars, fuck Star Trek. We're not nerds.
So when I was doing this, the names that I could have picked, but I didn't because I haven't seen all of them or really any of them. Jurassic Park, we've talked about. Haven't seen any Rockies. Sorry, Philly. Star Wars, I've only seen the middle 2000s 3, the ones that everyone agrees are bad. Batman, I've only seen The Dark Knight. Sorry. Terminator, haven't seen any of them. And The Godfather, haven't seen any of them.
We might have to open up a new series in the show where you watch a series a week and then report back to us.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Dog Days of the Summer?
Yeah, why not? What did you have on your any honorable mentions you didn't get to?
Captain America, Iron Man, Mission Impossible.
I just don't like Tom Cruise, man. That's my issue.
That's fair. But hey, that leads me on a great way to conclude the show.
Hold on, I got a couple of honorables that I want to get off. American Pie. I was almost there over Austin Powers, but American Pie
fell off.
Yeah, the first 2 incredible. The rest, Narnia underrated. Chronicles of Narnia underrated, but the second and third aren't very good. The first one's awesome. This one is a deep cut, I think. But the Santa Claus movies, Tim Allen's Santa Claus movies, that would have been a good play. Maze Runner, criminally underrated. Maze Runner was really good.
There's just such many better movies at the time, but yeah,
I agree. And then finally, Alien.
Divergent series wasn't bad either.
I haven't seen the last one. That's why I didn't put it on my list.
First one was phenomenal. It kind of goes down.
First one's great. The next 2 are okay.
Also, hand up accountability. The American Pie series, that's when I knew it definitely wasn't gay.
Yeah,
I used to have my buddy pirate those so I could jerk off. So, like, that's just that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no. Teresa, do not listen to this show. Yeah, that American Pie is when a lot of guys got their first real boners.
Yeah. Well, hey, I have to give you something that's a little bit more something I've been thinking about. I don't think you can wait to the next show.
Okay.
So I was on Netflix the other day cruising, and you remember that Titanic movie?
Like
where they're going down
the Titanic movie?
No. It's like the documentary about the Titanic submarine.
Oh, yeah.
And they just die in a and there's dead. Would you rather die like that, or you're stuck at sea on a fucking raft and you have like 0.001% chance of living? Which option are you taking? So like you could live, but like survival's slim. But like, we're talking Tom Hanks cast of shit.
How did I find myself on that raft? Can I ask that question? What was I doing to get to that raft?
Let's say like a shipwreck. We'll call it a shipwreck, and you just got off the boat, but you're not in like Atlantic, like Alaskan waters. You're like warm enough where you're not going to die from cold.
Yeah,
you're going to die from lack of food, lack of water, that kind of thing.
I'm taking the latter, and here's why. If I die on that boat after a shipwreck, that is just divine interaction. That is something happened, bad luck, whatever you want to call it. If I die in that submarine, yes, it's instantly, but I was fucking stupid enough to go looking for the things on the ocean.
I think I should rephrase the question. Would you rather die instantly? That was just an example. Rather die instantly or have the chance to live, but it's going to be miserable. Like, are you going through that misery with that small hope of survival, or would you rather just fuck it? I'm just out.
Poof, just like it never happened. It's like when you go down the black slide at the water park, the long one. It's like as soon as you get in, you're out.
I'm dead instantly. Yeah. I don't want to be miserable. It's going to change your life. You're ruined.
I think I'm taking the misery. I'm not going to lie. That's just my Damian Lillardness. I don't run from the grind set.
See, my thing is like, dude, it's tough. Like I want to pop. Like, but the thing is like, here's my issue on. Let me phrase it this way. If I'm on the raft, I can't give up. I know I won't give up.
Yeah.
But I would have wanted the quick death in the going in that raft. That's the problem where I'm at. Cause like I wouldn't want the death. But if I'm on the raft, I want the death.
I hear you. That I'm glad you cleared that up, because if I die because I'm dumb enough to go down looking for the Titanic parts, then
that's on you.
I'm getting to whatever afterlife there is, and I'm furious with myself. It's like when Brian eats chocolate and kills himself in Family Guy. Like, I'm furious. But no, I think I still think I'm giving myself the chance on the raft.
I don't give myself a lot of a chance. You put me on a deserted island, though. I think I got the deserted island. You put me on that deserted island, I'm Tom Hanks, motherfucker. I'm gonna step up. Ian Wilson, fuck yeah, baby. We'll rock and roll.
I hear you, man.
The raft, I don't know. Deserted island, I got it. That's my answer. You give me a deserted island, I'm rocking and rolling. Raft, I'm out.
All right, that's fair. That's a fair answer.
And that's how we'll wrap it up. Next week, we're gonna come back with you. Hopefully, some NFL preseason shit.
Yeah,
and some college football updates. All right, peace out, everybody. Till next time.
Later, bro.
See ya.